Well, oh my god, we're here. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. It's expansion announcement day, Mini X-Pac 2. So actually about 12 hours ago, I was doing Ceres. Right when ArenaNet dropped a big patch that we talked about in a few videos ago. And they actually gave us this news here of the next expansion, the Janthea Wilds. Now, just to be clear, for the past several days, most people who've been clued in have known that this was called the Janthea Wilds. I think the trailer was like leaked because they only had it unlisted and not privated on their YouTube page. The title of the expansion got out like a good while back around the actual final Secrets of the Obscure patch. So yeah, this might not be news to all of you guys, but I held off on talking about any of it until now. And in fact, I've held off on looking at any of it as well. So in this video, I'm going to run through and see. I'm really excited to get to this because Janthea is a long outstanding cool lore place that I've wanted to see, and I think I've got a video on it. Someone linked it in the Spud Discord from a couple of years ago. I'm keen to see how much this is about the Massar, how much this is to do with Kryta, maybe even if the Bloodstones will get a little bit of a look in. I think we've got a trailer and all sorts. So yeah, let's just jump on in. Now, this is my first blind look at what is in the X-Pac. Now, I've had several walls of text sent to me from various members of the community. I know generally what the features are. We talked about land spears with the teaser last week. I believe housing as well is the thing for this X-Pac, which is kind of crazy. If they do it well, that's a big feature, kind of one of the last big missing features from Guild Wars 2. When I look back to the launch of games like, say, WildStar, having a good housing system was something that really sold that game and got people intrigued. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 recently, and building your house up and your camp there, and how like the plans and the recipes and things for actually getting new things to place down, decorations, is integrated with the rest of the game through events and stuff you do, is really smart and really fun. So the idea that Guild Wars 2 may finally be going into this and do it well, I think it'd actually be brilliant for the game. You know, we've kind of all been in this place where we feel like mini X-Pacs can't be that big and can't be that creative and can't do big features. Well, maybe we're going to be proved wrong with the Janthea Wild. So let's see. And can I just say as well, I'm so happy I'm actually in the country for the release of this one. Obviously last year they announced the goddamn Wizard's Tower and everything, and I couldn't even talk about it when it came out. Well, here we are. And in fact, by the way, has it actually been a year since the Wizard's Tower announcement? Slightly earlier than a year, isn't it? We're only at June 4th. Wasn't the Wizard's Tower in July last year? Anyway, I guess we're starting with the trailer, right? I've never seen this. I'm just going to watch it right here, right now with you guys, and mumble some commentary through and see what we think. So here we go. By the way, I did see the key art yesterday. It is pretty gorgeous looking. I'm hoping that this stone-like blue structure is somehow alluding to the Bloodstones, but maybe not actually. The more I look at it, you know, we've got birds there, we've got mountains, we've got trees. What I'm really hoping for from this is new assets more than anything else. I want new environments, I want new places to explore, but I want them to feel different to previous areas of Tyria. And I have to say, in the teasers we've seen so far, I haven't been very impressed on that front. I'll also note here, we've got a guy. Is that someone? So there are people with land spears, obviously, which is one of the big features of the expansion. Is this somebody riding on a kind of jackal? Or is it like a horse? Is it a hound? Actually, when I first glimpsed at this last night, I thought this was a centaur. And I thought that we might be going into kind of some of those cut aspects of the Icebridge Saga. You know, we saw centaurs with the whips and stuff in the trailer, and then they never ended up going anywhere, because I would assume that's sort of a similar area of the world. But actually, I guess not. We also have this crazy big beast in the background here, which I think is a big topic, and I'll get to in a second. All right, let's hit play. Let's not tease for any longer. Let's see what we got here. All right, 1 minute. Hopefully it's long. Okay, we get some rain. Ominous music. Oh, I like the music.
It may be dangerous, but this place... oh, it's stunning.
Think there are any white mantle left in the area? I've heard enough rumors.
Janthea. A storm looms over that place. That is not a territory I wish to cross.
My bear kin have lived in Janthea longer than your cities have stood tall.
Oh, cool! Oh, nice. We see some of the spear animations. These kind of have launch Guild Wars 2 vibes. Oh my god, those new enemies look interesting.
This?
Oh, that must be a ranger with a spear.
Surely the strangers do not walk among all lands.
A false god!
Oh my god, there was so much going on musically there. That was crazy. Okay, hold on. I'm assuming as well, if I keep playing, there'll be a stinger. Love this animation here. That thing of the Char saying false gods pointing, okay, and that giant image. I think this is related to the Titans. I think the Titans might be in this again, which would be really cool. Okay, so how ahead of myself do I get here? I'm thinking Janthea Wilds, if it's to do with like the fate of the Massart, if there was some kind of Massart issue that occurred there, which is why it looks so messed up on the world map and all that. If you look back at prophecies, there's this thing where, like, the Massart are desperate to keep the Titans out of Tyria because of the Flameseeker prophecies. They're like hated enemies, right? Like, why the Titans were prophesized to destroy the Massart in this way. Is there like a greater history there that suggests, you know, more of a Titan-Massart connection? Which is kind of a bit of a plot hole and a bit of a gap in the prophecy story. Remember, that's right at the start of this franchise, years and years and years ago. If the Janthea Wilds, like, pulls on that thread and, like, gives us a real story and a bit more history there, I think that could be amazing. So, here, let's keep watching. Do we get anything? Oh, we do.
This place is no longer home to me. But perhaps it can be.
It's player housing. Oh, you know, I was wondering if we were going to get this in the home instance or what. Okay, looks very similar to Guildhall kind of decorations. In fact, this is a Guildhall decoration. This is a Guildhall decoration. I think everything we see here actually is Guildhall decorations. The idea, though, that it's a mini X-Pack and they'd probably reuse that stuff, I guess makes sense. The actual environment we're in looks different. So I wonder if there's going to be lots of different plots and stuff we can go. I don't know what the content of the blog post is, so I'll look at that in a second. As I know some of you guys have probably already read it. And so then, of course, we get the pre-purchase stuff. Do they have an announcement date? They do, August 20th. So I read on the Spud Discord as well that apparently there's a beta for this, and it overlaps with the launch of Dawn Trail for Final Fantasy XIV, which probably isn't a great idea. But hopefully, as long as the actual release itself is a nice open spot there. So August 20th, that's kind of a nice date. That's around the launch date of Guild Wars 2 itself. And, you know, we get our bunch of stuff if you go for the Ultimate Edition. Okay, cool. So that's the trailer. And listen, so my plan here, guys, there's going to be gaps in, like, there's probably cool things to notice about the trailer. What we'll do is we'll do a gloss over today. We'll do our first impressions, and you guys can drop your comments, your walls of text. And in the upcoming days, we'll dig into more details, and I'll draw more things out. So if you guys have got anything you really want to see or you want me to notice, just let me know in the comments, and we'll continue talking about it in the upcoming videos. So what do they say? Well, a fresh adventure is on the horizon. Guild Wars 2 Janthea Wilds. By the way, we've broken with the naming scheme here, of course. The Heart of Thorns, Secrets of the Obscure, which is Janthea Wilds here, arrives on August 20th, bringing with it another year of story chapters and content updates. The thought that we're still not even 1 year before the launch of Secrets of the Obscure is kind of cool, actually, to think about. When you package everything, as disappointing as Secrets of the Obscure might have been in many ways, if you package everything that's done there with, you know, everything we'll be getting when the Janthea Wilds comes out straight there on August 20th, is quite a good amount for 2 years. Bristling with Massart ruins and harrowing to navigate. There we go, confirmation there is Massart stuff going on. With the amount of hints and teasers that they had, you know, as we ran through the Nios patches and Secrets of the Obscure, I think this was a fairly good prediction. Harrowing to navigate. Is that a suggestion that the map design will be a little bit different, a little bit more dry-toppy? That would be my hope. The fabled Isles of Janthea have been carefully guarded by the wizards of the Astral Ward. Okay, so, and again, ArenaNet did confirm that characters and the impact of the Astral Ward, the Wizard Society, will still be relevant for this X-Pack. And to most of Tyria's denizens, they are a distant legend. But recent events have inspired world leaders to create a Tyrian alliance and dispatch the Wayfinder to befriend new allies. So we'll just be the Wayfinder through all of these mini X-Pack arcs, I guess, now. That's sort of our new term, and it's sticking. The Tyrian Alliance, not the Pact, I guess, the replacement for the Pact. As you seek out the lowland Coden colony in Janthea, those Coden looked awesome. You will explore, fight, and learn more about the mysteries of Tyria's past. Man, if this really does fill in some holes and talk a bit more about things that Prophecies was going into, this is going to be awesome. I'll be so happy as well if they find a way to address like that old Prophecies discrepancy of not being exactly sure where Janthea was, because I think there's a quotation or a message in Guild Wars 1 somewhere where they suggest it's like south or something, and then later it's suggested to be north. We got a little bit of information to provide us some key features of the Janthea Wilds in this blog, and between now and launch you can stay tuned for even more details, so they'll trickle it out. I think that's a good idea. So let me just scroll down here. How long is this? Okay, it's probably slightly longer than a regular blog post. probably. Okay, so they say beginning August 20th. Pre-purchase in any edition before the expansion launches will grant you the Homesteader title, the Whispering Serpent's Pauldrons, and a box with your choice of one of Serpent's Wrath weapon skins. Yeah, I think you can buy this already. There was a bit of a conversation about this in the Discord last night. Yes, I do have an affiliate link. There will be one in the description. Obviously, we don't know how great this will be. We didn't know how great Secret of the Obscure would be. You know, I understand that some people might feel burned by the mini X-Pac model at this point. So I don't want to be that guy that just pushes the link really, because I think there's going to be a lot of this going on. There always is. People just shamelessly push to like get that bag or whatever and tell everyone to click the link. Do be discerning, but if you're going to buy it and if you are interested, and as I cover it obviously as we go forwards, please do feel free. If you click the link to buy it in the description from me, I do actually get a kickback from that, and that really helps me out, like in a big way. So thank you for anybody who does do that, and that's down there. They say visit the official page for full details, and yeah, and I've got a link in the description. If you use that one, that's all you have to do. It comes at no cost to you. So yeah, all right, there we go. The new adventure beckons. At the launch of GW2 to Janthiel Wilds, you'll explore 2 new maps. As you seek an alliance, and we already knew this, obviously, as you seek an alliance with the Lowland Coden, who call the Isle of Janthier home, master new ways to fight and explore, and unlock a homestead, an account-wide personal housing instance of your own. Over the course of 3 quarterly releases that follow the initial launch, you have the opportunity to challenge new content, explore additional story in a 3rd new map, craft a legendary spear and backpack. This is a good idea. If they're going to expand the actual weapon pool, then when they do that, the expansion itself should come bundled with the legendary for it, which is a great idea. Legendary backpacks is new as well. Now, I've always liked this idea. We can technically go up to Ascended already with, you know, the Greater Runes and stuff. That's been in the game since POF, and then occasionally they do like a Living World release that gives you 1 big bag for free or whatever. There's lots of things they could do with legendary backpacks in terms of like additional perks on top of just more slots. I feel like they should probably explore some of those ideas. Also, by the way, before I gloss over it too much here, the idea that there are Lowland Coden who call the Eye of Janthier their home is new. That's not pre-existing lore, unless it was something in Secrets of the Obscure that I missed. It kind of makes sense, because if you think about the Coden coming from the far north, the Tyrian Arctic, as it were, sailing down on their sanctuary, some of them will have hit the Isles of Janthier. It is a natural fit. So I wonder what they've been doing. I wonder how long that they've been living there. Oh, it just occurred to me while editing, this is definitely going to be where Waiting Sorrow went. They'll probably continue that. And then also here, they're saying, so we unlock 1 homestead. I wonder if it's going to be like 1 homestead per patch? I'm quite excited in... Do you remember what they said in a recent blog post? They said that they were going to continue supporting existing features because they felt they hadn't been doing that very well. And like the example I gave was like fishing. You can still fish in Secrets of the Obscure even though it was an End of Dragons feature. That really points to me as probably mini X-Packs from now on will give you new player houses, new homes, new areas to unlock. Similar to how, with the original expansion model, we were getting guild halls each time. Obviously, Secrets of the Obscure didn't come with a guild hall. Now we get homesteads, which is a more personal thing that you can decorate on your own. And just to be clear, there's been this long-standing debate and discussion about are guild halls and guild hall decorations a worthwhile substitute to player housing? And the answer has obviously been no. You know, the economies and the access behind decorating your guild hall and having your special place in your guild hall is just ridiculous. Having your own personal thing that no one else can interfere with and things are affordable to you on a personal scale is so much better. So I think that's a really good move. The idea that I can't use my current home instance, like in Ratasum or in Queensdale or whatever, is a bit disappointing. And they do specifically say unlock a homestead. Are the old ones going to be good? Maybe it says later in the blog post, so I won't linger with this for too long. So then they say obtain new Wizards Vault rewards, cosmetic items, relic effects, and more. You know, the fact that they've themed the new daily system as the Wizards Vault really was kind of a tell that probably the Wizards Vault were going to be always influencing these upcoming mini X-Packs and we're going to be a central part of them, because, you know, the Wizards Vault starts to feel weird if suddenly those characters and that organization have nothing to do with anything. What I'd be quite interested in is if in this expansion there are story steps that actually take us back to the Wizard's Tower itself, as we interact with those characters and they say their piece about these ancient areas of the world that we'll be going to or whatever. Because I think that could be I mean, we're kind of getting into an interesting discussion here, but I think when you look at a mini X-Pack, they only have so much new playable space that they can give us. The idea of still being able to return to the Wizard's tower, I kind of like, because that still feels fresh and new to me compared to a lot of the rest of Guild Wars 2. Getting a little bit of that within the new expansion kind of makes sense. And if you think about it as well, it's a location that can fly. It's a location that can move. So why not have it shift over to a place somewhat near, you know, as long as they don't lean on it too much for exploration, you know, as long as the new maps are full and exciting and so on. I think that could be a nice little thing that they do. So yeah, new relics. Relics have been a bit of a whiff through Secrets of the Obscure for me. I was really excited about relics with the announcement last year. This year, I'm kind of about them. But yeah, we'll see. Homesteads. Wakes up. Well, hold on. We've got the screenshot. So this is sort of an aerial view of what we saw in the teaser video last week, right? This is the same location here. I'm guessing one of these buildings actually is the homestead, and this will have been built by these lowland Coden. I guess this is their architectural style. And maybe that comment last week about how it felt kind of Norny with the round roofs wasn't too far off actually in the end. So, homesteads. We're excited to add our take on account-wide housing with the Janthir world. They've mentioned the fact it's account-wide twice now. I think they're trying to be very clear about that. Probably they don't have the server capacity, or they don't want to host all the data that would be necessary for like all of your characters to have their own little houses. So they're trying to make this very clear straight away that you don't get to do lots of houses, which is a bit disappointing. I just mentioned Fallout 76 a second ago. You know, when you actually look at the features that game has built into its housing system, it's kind of mind-blowing. Like, you can pack your entire base up and it will save like the blueprint of every single decoration you have, and you can just wholesale dump it somewhere else. You can have multiple bases. It's crazy. Anyway, so it looks like Guild Wars 2 is not going that big with it. Your journeys will lead you to your own homestead, an account-wide personal instance with a structure and land for you to decorate and cultivate. So we get the house and the stuff around the outside. The homesteads feature is unlocked and developed through an associated mastery line as a place to express yourself, share space with your friends, and access nodes and unlockable resources from your personal story home instance. So there are integrations between the two ideas, because obviously the personal story home instance feels very similar in nature. So all the things I've unlocked there will become decorations, I guess, and I can choose which ones I place. As I was reading this, I was thinking to myself just now, like, I wonder what mechanical hooks they're going to put into the homestead to encourage us to use it. You know, you always see there's a bit of a struggle with stuff like this, like the rested XP buff for sitting around in Arborstone, stuff like that. You know, how valuable does that really feel in gameplay? How often do we go to Arborstone to do those sorts of things? I hope there is a little bit more of a reason to go to our home instance. Sorry, what are they calling it exactly? Our homestead. I hope there's a little bit more reason to go to our homestead beyond just the cosmetics of the thing. Especially if they're multiplayer reasons. If I have a reason to actually bring party members there every now and then, I think that could be very cool. And you sort of do get that already with the home instance nodes. But I kind of go through phases with that where I'll go years and I really don't care about them and I don't gather them anymore. So yeah. Also, I just thought to myself, Homestead is kind of a good name for this feature, but at the same time, isn't the player house, if you're a Norn, already called a homestead? It's in the Great Lodge, right? But isn't it? Oh, maybe they don't use the word homestead. Anyway, before we launch on August 20th, we'll be back to share loads more information and a look at homestead decorating. Oh, there's also a chance, I suppose, that they'll improve the actual process of decorating and what the UI and the functionality and stuff feels like. Maybe they'll add snapping features, stuff like that. Maybe the limitations and the caps, the restrictions will be lifted. I don't know, maybe I'll recommend to you guys to go back to my Heart of Thorns review and the big mammoth video I did, like an hour, just on the Guildhall decorating, because there were lots of fun things that I thought they could do with that. And if they're going to be putting like a new UI and stuff, or cleaning it up a bit, couldn't that be ported over to the Guildhall decorating as well? Wielding spears on land. And by the way, so does this give us a sense of the size of the place? Oh, look, it's walled off. It's going to be like surrounded by cliffs, I think. I think this is all the homestead. It's quite a lot of space. Okay, so you've got these garden plots. This is clearly for the Ascended cooking stuff, right? That's the entrance over there. This really feels like this is a mini Guildhall. That's the impression I'm getting from this. A mini Guildhall. Now the entrance, this is interesting. Is there a... Do you teleport in? Do you walk over and the door opens? That feels very static, like there's not a way in. I wonder if it's like a Guildhall with another instance on the inside and you get to, like, decorate them both. Kind of like a double instance. I don't know, something about that just feels like you can't actually walk in there. It is weird because, like, we're not really going to be able to put windows and stuff, right? We're not going to be able to... Maybe we could put wallpapers on it? Oh, I'm really curious how deep they've gone with this. Housing could be amazing. But here we're looking at the idea of Guild Wars 2 housing as couched within a mini X-Pac formula. So, yeah. But it's a good pick, because, again, they can leverage it every mini X-Pac going forwards. Right, moving on. Wielding spears. Now, I have to say, in the trailer just now, I was quite impressed at the animations already. You know, I kind of got the vibe last year with the new Secrets of the Obscure Weapon stuff that they were all very last minute. They were all very rushed. A lot of the art wasn't in, stuff like that. But these all had really big, flashy, pretty animations. And it feels like they're like ready to go instantly. I wonder what they've done in terms of like mechanical niches and stuff for all these new weapons. So previously only available for underwater combat, spears now have all new skills for each profession on land. Nice. They've done that. They've gone the whole hog with it. Spears can be used so I guess it's not tridents though. And I guess it's not harpoon guns. Those feel like slightly less thematically fitting for land, don't get me wrong. So just doubling down on spears, I can kind of see why they did that. Maybe those can be in the later X-Packs. Spears can be used interchangeably in the aquatic and terrestrial weapon slots. Wait, interchangeably. Okay, so I can just put it in either slot I want. But you will need to equip multiple spears to use them in both slots. Okay, so it's not quite like wielding weapons above land where you can use the same weapon in either weapon set. I guess something about the way that it works, they can't quite do that. The unlocked spear skins in your wardrobe will work with both versions, and if you've made Kamahali Kutaki, this legendary spear, you can equip it through the legendary armory in either slot. Very nice. Oh my god, do we get the on-crit sharks on land? That's going to be amazing. And it's a nice screenshot of what I assume is the warrior wielding it. Warrior just feels... This is funny, you know, like for years and years and years, when we talked about warrior with a spear, we were talking about a Paragon elite specialization, right? Because the color theme matches, the armor class matches, and all that. I hope that the warrior spear is an overhand spear chucker rather than like a jabber, just so we can get as close to the Paragon as possible. Obviously, because elite specializations aren't a thing. And by the way, that's kind of another conversation here right now. That definitely still no elite specializations, right? That was a huge conversation last year. I guess we're all just resigned to it now. Raids and encounters. Additional challenging encounters will be... Oh, wait, here we go. So raids. So the big... if you caught my video last week, it seemed to be that there was a hint about raids. I guess this is confirmed here. So additional challenging encounters will become available alongside new story chapters in the 3 major releases. So all 3 releases get a good challenge. So looking back at Secrets of the Obscure, we did just get the Fractal with the last release, and that's gone well-ish. I mean, we can review the Fractal in its own terms. Obviously, Ceres was a big win. Dagda was not, so I don't know. Here, if they get 3 Ceres-style releases, it's going to be amazing. And they're talking about a raid as well, so hold on. In the first of these releases, anticipated to release around November, you'll get to challenge a new raid. So there it is. Wow. Comprising 3 encounters. And listen, I know, again, as I mentioned in last week's video, some of you guys will be put off by that and think, oh, I'm not going to do it. If there's no explorable map there, I really do recommend you guys get out of your comfort zone a little and try the raid, because they are great adventures. They are really fun in terms of just telling a story and going through a new area. Some of the best storytelling Guild Wars 2 has ever done, seriously, are in the raids. Almost every raid has got much better storytelling, I've found personally, than main storytelling, or even like a lot of Living World or personal story stuff. The story of these encounters will be accessible in 2 ways. Through a classic 10-player instance, that's our 8th raid, or, oh my god, with large groups and open world events. Wow, I spoke too soon. So look, everyone can do it, because they're going to have a Zerg-style version of it. Wow. Is that going to be essentially the new convergence, then, of this? Oh my god, that's quite smart if they do that. They can do, like, an open world version of the raid as a convergence thing, and then they can do a 10-player challenging variant of it and double up on all the assets, on all the storytelling. That's genius. That's really good. Oh my god, these Coden look massive. You know, it's funny, I really like the polar bear style Coden, actually. Now the more I look at these guys. Okay, that's just a rabbit. I thought that was a player character for a second. I thought, oh my god, they're huge. Okay, so they're garden. So, hold on, is this a screenshot of the raid, then? Is that the idea? The entrance to the raid, maybe? So here, oh, the Warclaw. Wow. Okay, guys, I would never in a million years have thought that I was about to read about the Warclaw. Oh, hold on! That's who we were seeing at the top, in the key art, at the top. That's a Warclaw someone's riding on, right? Okay, hold on, here we go. In Janthir Wilds, the Warclaw will be featured with new mechanics. Oh my god, so hold on, are they doing a thing, right? where essentially they've decided, look, mounts are really important as expansion sellers. But we've already got so many mounts, and we've already power crept the crap out of movement in the game and all this kind of stuff. You know, there's this whole idea that the Sky Scale got added expecting Guild Wars 2 to close, and now it hasn't closed, and they just stuck with it. So with Secrets of the Obscure, they look at the biggest thing, sore thumb, the biggest thing sticking out, Sky Scale. They resold you the Sky Scale, to put it cynically, as some people do, or whatever. They played with the Sky Scale, they gave it the new fireballs and stuff, and now they're saying, well, let's do another one for the next mini X-Pack, and they picked the Warclaw, which is, as far as PvE is concerned, kind of a weird one that doesn't have much application, right? So, the Warclaw mount will be featured. Previously only available through World vs. World, the Warclaw will be introduced to players in the story of Guild Wars 2 Janthir Worlds, including new skills for PvE play. At the same time, we'll be revisiting the Warclaw's World vs. World skills to provide a refreshed experience that builds on what we've learned about mounts since first implementing the Warclaw. They're very vague about that, but that seems like quite a smart idea to me. And therefore, I guess we'll see a lot of Warclaws and Warclaw influence in the story and stuff here. Now, what's the actual lore of the Warclaw? It's like an entity of armor that we built, right, within the mists. Are they going to suggest that this is somehow similar to the Massar's Jade constructs and stuff, because we're in Janthir and the Kodan have discovered them or something? That's going to be interesting. Is that a new skin as well that everyone gets for buying the X-Pack? Obviously, it doesn't have any armor on it at all this time. Developing a new PvP mode. Oh my god, a new PvP mode? Oh, I don't know whether I agree with this. All right, let's see what they say. We got one final thing to share for now. Over the course of the coming year, we'll be seeking inputs. See, I don't even trust this. Last time they were seeking input with Stronghold, people bombed them with information, and then they just abandoned it. Oh, this is a tricky one. We're seeking input from the community on a new PvP game mode we aim to implement. We have a prototype of a map and mechanics that will. This is wrong, isn't it? Typo? Or maybe they're saying we will be ready to start beta testing later this year, and we'll iterate and refine on that, taking into account your feedback on the beta tests. What on earth? Look, my instinct here is, okay, I don't think it's a good idea at all. But if they're going to do it, if they're going to fracture the player base, if they're going to throw a bunch of turbulence and make us ask whether Conquest matters anymore again and all that, after they just had some good updates with the tournaments and so on, if they're going to do that, it has to be they have to whole arse it. It has to be, this thing's amazing, and here it is. It has to be a really good, exciting thing that will pander to people and get them excited. Basically, they have to call this thing GVG, and they have to really, really go for it and not be flimsy or flippant about it. Here, they've not even given us the name of the game type. Worried about that. It seems wishy-washy and probably going to end up being a waste of time. That's my guess. I am interested. I mean, if they can build some faith that they really, they'll really stick with it and they'll really take the input. If I give them that benefit of the doubt, I'm very excited. But I don't know, man. I don't know about this one. What do you guys think? I spent too many years opening the PvP panel, looking at that useless Stronghold tab, where I can look through all my little missed champions and stuff and just lament at what could have been, to really know what I think about this. I don't want to see this be a repeat of Stronghold. This, to me, is an awful lot like the conversations we were just having about GW3 after they totally abandoned GW1. You know, if they came to me with Secrets of the Obscure and said, hey, Stronghold, remember that? We did a disservice to that. Let's fix that up. Let's patch it. Let's go for it. And if they really gave a lot of love to Stronghold, then later said, hey, we're doing a new game type, I'd have a bit of faith and a bit of love and enthusiasm for it. But seeing how they treated Stronghold and even, you know, the other game mini modes like Deathball and stuff in Courtyard, seeing how those are handled, I don't know why I should be buying into another game mode here, having seen what happened with all the previous ones, which are still sitting there completely abandoned. So yeah, very cynical about this. I don't know. Can anyone change my mind in the comments? However, just the idea, just the fundamental thing that PvP is getting something with an expansion is amazing. I mean, not even the main full-featured expansions gave PvP anything. Heart of Thorns tried, Stronghold failed, all the others said no. Here we are with a mini X-Pack doing something which is awesome. Yeah, I really didn't expect this, and I'll tell you what as well, as I was reading this stuff about the Warclaw and as I was reading above, there was a little voice in the back of my head that I didn't voice, but I was thinking it's a real shame we're not getting a new World vs. World map or something. I'd love that for a mini X-Pack. I was seriously thinking that as I was reading this. And this is not a new World vs. World map, don't get me wrong, but this kind of does suggest, look, PvP can get something special this time. In 12 months, who knows? Maybe World vs. World will get something special. So that's all really quite exciting. Oh my god, Guild Wars 2 is coming to the Epic Games Store. I guess they'll get a good cut off of this. Guild Wars 2 and its expansion will be coming to Epic Games. There's no way I'll be playing it there. We're always excited for new opportunity to... Yeah, can we get some more Steam stuff? Can we get Steam achievements? Can we look at the Steam stuff a little bit more, please? But, okay, that's cool, I guess. And hopefully more players is always good. I don't think that's going to be as big as the Guild Wars 2 goes free to play or Guild Wars 2 comes to Steam moments, but it's something. And then finally, stay tuned. Again, you can visit the official store or hop in game to purchase the expansion right now. Between now and launch, we'll be sharing additional details about the features and content, new spear skills, homesteads, raids, and more. So there you have it, guys. I'm quite excited about it. This is such a mixed bag. Never would have expected the Warclaw. Never would have expected a new PvP mode. This, they seem to have done... I'm really impressed with this immediately. I think they've done really well with the animations and stuff there. This, I'm cautiously optimistic because I feel like it might end up feeling just an awful lot like Guildhall decorating, but there could be cool things, definitely. And for me, it's more about how they integrate the rewards into the rest of the game. Like, if I have a rare chance now at a meta to get not just like an infusion, but some kind of cool decoration that I can really show off, and people are like, wow, you got that. That could stimulate some awesome stuff on the TP. I think this could be really good. I'm actually more excited about grinding for stuff like that in Guild Wars 2 than I have been excited about getting legendary armor again in Secrets of the Obscure. This is better as a money incentive, as a carrot for the expansion. I think this is amazing, and it could go on forever. So this is huge, but I hope they've done well with it. And then, of course, a new adventure in some genuinely interesting areas of lore. So there you have it, guys. That's my first take, my first thoughts on Janthir Wild. So 2 things now. Please drop your comments. Let me know what you think. And if I've missed anything, I'm going to do a follow-up video very quickly where I respond to you guys and we dig in a bit more, maybe into the trailer and so on. So let me know what you think. And also, again, I guess I'll just sign off once more by saying, again, I have a link in my description. If this has interested you enough that you will be picking it up, please do consider that. If you are going to hold off for more news, which I think is a more savvy, intelligent thing to do, you know, but then end up buying it in a few months right when it releases, I do just ask you to hopefully remember when you do eventually get it, think about checking the description of one of my videos and hitting that link before you go to buy, because that really does help and support me continue to make cool stuff. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks for watching Janthir Wilds. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the comments.